Welcome to the December edition of the Renewables Roundup, the monthly video that gives you a roundup of all the latest stories from across the US in the world of renewables. I'm your host Eddie Maunda, Principal Consultant at Coalesce Management Consulting, the renewable energy consultancy who provide engineering, construction and project management services on renewable energy projects globally. This monthly video provides information about new targets, upcoming projects and news from across the US to help make it easier for you to keep up with the latest updates. This month's top story focuses on the California lease auction. The winners of the first US offshore wind lease sale on the Pacific coast and the first ever to procure floating wind capacity in the country are RWE, Equinor, Invenergy, Copenhagen Infrastructure Partners and Ocean Winds. The total bid values came to just over $757 million. Upon completion, this will power over 1.5 million homes, developing over 370,000 acres of sea and producing 4.5 gigawatts of clean energy. Congratulations to all the winners, and we look forward to seeing their projects develop over the coming years. The United States will impose new duties on imports from major Chinese solar panel makers after a month-long investigation found they were trying to dodge tariffs by finishing their products in Southeast Asian countries, according to trade officials. The preliminary decision was bad news for US solar project developers that rely on cheap imports to fuel their growth, but fell short of the industry's worst fears that Washington would impose new tariffs to cover all solar shipments from the region instead of just those from specific companies. The industry has faced project delays for the last 2 years due to pandemic-related supply disruptions, land disputes, and a ban on goods made in China's Xinjiang region over forced labour concerns. Some 1,000 shipments of solar products have been seized at the US border due to suspicion they could have come from slave labour camps. The mere threat of new tariffs on solar imports also contributed to a slowdown in project development this year, the industry has said. In response to those delays, Biden earlier this year said that any new tariffs will be waived for 2 years to allow US solar panel manufacturing time to ramp up. Avangrid has requested to back out of the offshore wind contracts for their 1.2 gigawatt Commonwealth wind project off Martha's Vineyard. Avangrid have been trying to renegotiate the original terms after they became untenable because of unforeseen supply chain costs and disruptions, in part caused by the war in Ukraine, as well as rapidly rising interest rates. Avangrid said it intends to enter the state's next round of bidding for wind farm contracts in the spring to keep the Commonwealth wind project alive, but there's no guarantee Avangrid will win amid competition with up to 3 rival developers, each with its own offshore lease areas. Avangrid Senior Vice President Kim Harriman maintains Commonwealth Wind will be finished in 2028 if it wins new contracts in the next round. She accused the utilities of refusing to engage with Avangrid to address its cost issues. "We're committed to finding the right solution and bringing Commonwealth Wind forward," Harriman said. "We're not starting fresh. If anything, we're further ahead than probably anybody else that is going to bid." North Carolina-based Innovative Solar Systems is up for sale at a firm price of $150 million US. Innovative Solar Systems is a national utility-scale solar project developer with active project portfolios exceeding 10 gigawatts. Innovative Solar Systems boasts that the buyer of the company has the opportunity to net $1.7 million or up to $4.8 million in gross profits within 3 years by funding the build-out of the company's 2.5 gigawatt ready-to-build solar projects in Texas. These projects, under the jurisdiction of the Energy Reliability Council of Texas, or ERCOT, will have interconnection agreements in place and ready for construction within 12 to 18 months after closing of the company's acquisition. According to a recently completed third-party valuation report on Innovative Solar Systems, the current valuation on the company is approximately $220 million to $328 million, and the company is able to share this report with potential buyers. Spanish independent power producer Green Alia has acquired 3 utility-scale solar projects totaling 502 megawatts in Texas. The projects are the 265 megawatt Donegal Solar, the 119 megawatt Leitrim Solar, and the 118 megawatt Roscommon Solar. All three are in advanced stage of development, with Green Allia planning to reach commercial operations by early 2025. The acquisition is part of the company's broadening strategy in the United States, which entered 2 years ago. Green Allia's CEO, Manuel Garcia, said, "We are delighted to acquire these high-quality solar projects. The acquisition is an important step in consolidating our strategic plan, which has the United States as a key focus." Meta, formerly known as Facebook, will procure electricity from a 200 megawatt solar project that will be built by D.E. Shaw Renewable Investments, or DESRI, in Arkansas. The US solar and wind asset developer and owner said on Wednesday it will supply the plant's future output under a long-term power purchase agreement. The contract is tied to DESRI's Long Lake project. The solar farm will be installed in Arkansas's Phillips County and will help power Meta's operations in that region. It will join a list of other DESRI-owned clean energy projects contracted by Meta, including the 180 megawatt solar project in Utah and 160 megawatts in Virginia, bringing their total capacity to over 850 megawatts. The North Dakota Public Service Commission voted to approve a $390 million wind farm proposed near Wishick in south-central North Dakota. Ørsted Onshore North America plans to complete the Badger Wind project by October 2023. It consists of 74 turbines for a capacity of 250 megawatts, enough energy to power 70,000 homes. The project in Logan and McIntosh counties is to include the wind turbines, access roads, electrical and communication infrastructure, a transmission line, up to 3 permanent atmosphere evaluation towers, an aircraft detection lighting system, and an operations and maintenance facility. Solar PV generation in the US during the first 9 months of 2022 jumped 26.1% year on year, according to the country's Energy Information Administration's latest report. Data from its Electric Power Monthly shows solar PV increased its electricity generation in September by 21.02% compared to the same time last year. While other renewables were down in September 2022, almost 655 megawatts of utility-scale solar PV capacity was added in September 2022. Despite a strong growth from renewable generation capacity during the first 3 quarters, Energy Information Administration's data suggests a possible slowdown for Q4. The Energy Information Administration forecasts that renewables will provide 22% of US electrical generation in 2022, up 20% from the previous year. They were the top stories from the US renewables market in December. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, comment, share, or even better, all 3. If you have a renewable energy project coming up, CMC provide engineering, construction, and project management services to help you deliver your project ahead of schedule and under budget. For more information, visit www.expertisedelivered.com or reach out to myself directly on LinkedIn. Thank you for watching. I'm Eddie Maunda, and this has been the Renewables Roundup. I hope to see you again next month.